people of the world.
You are watching 100 Degree TV on YouTube.
Here is what you missed on the 100 Degree Show with Birch Harris.
This just in.
I'm gonna tell you something straight off the press.
Oh, baby Jesus.
I ain't coming for no foolishness.
You will enter into a routine that will keep you sane. We will work together. We will work for the good of us all.
I ain't coming for no foolishness.
Come on down, come on down, come on down, down.
Here I come.
Come on down, come on down, come on down.
Oh, baby Jesus.
Samuel 01, requesting rep. What's happening out there?
Give them some.
Here it comes. Time to find out what we signed up for.
It's good to have you back in the fold. Wish we were under better circumstances.
We'll be up against our old teammates. People we trained with, fought with.
I know this is difficult, but I need you to move past that. This is bigger than any of us. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the press.
The most valuable money I've ever made. A priceless lesson about life. Value loyalty above all else.
Caught you looking for the same thing. It's a new thing. It's a new thing. It's a new thing. Bang, 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 bang. Caught you looking for the same thing. Since I gave you all a little something that I knew you lacked, and so consider me a new jack.
Here's what I want you all to do of me. Turn up the radio.
Welcome back. It's the 100 Degree Show. I'm Birch Harris, a.k.a. Judah Ben Judah, and we have returned to burn with the Holy Ghost and fire. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hope you're ready. I'm ready for whatever God is doing because I know it's great. How about that? It's great. Preparation is a great place to be because you're expecting. When you're prepared to receive and you're in the spirit and the position, the posture of expectation, it's a beautiful thing. It's joyous. I think it's very joyous because the excitement of receiving or knowing that you can receive at any given minute or any given moment, that is a very glorious place to be, I would say, right? And the thing about it is you are in the place of excitement. You have cleaned out all of the things that need to be cleaned out, and you're maintaining what needs to be maintained because you are in that place of expectation. Like the 5 wise virgins. Remember we did that before? Well, that's always a part of the process because that's the preparation process of being a wise virgin. This is what we live for as the followers of Christ. This is a part of the mandate. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But today we want to talk about something that we spoke about early in the week. We spoke about the blessing in the form or in a metaphor of seed, which is seed time and harvest. And we spoke about grass seed or lawn grass seed. And we spoke about it from the perspective of, well, if you have a tree and your tree, it's shedding its leaves, in the process of you trying to grow those seeds into blades of grass, the leaves can actually cover the seeds and cause them to not get the sunlight, the air, and the water that's needed to cause those seeds to be germinated and grow into blades of grass. And it's from that place we want to come back because we ended the show earlier in the week on, well, what is your leaves? Who are your leaves? Who and what is those things that are covering your seed, the things that you have deposited into the kingdom of the Most High? And what is stopping the harvest, or what is stopping the manifestation? Because we are in this fall, autumn season, this harvest season. Some would say Yom Kippur, right? This festival of receiving. So as we look at this thing, we want to come back and we want to look at the first place we saw leaves being used after a crime. In the Bible, we want to talk about the fig leaves that were used by Adam, Mr. and Mrs. Adam, after they transgress. But let's get you blessed, because as we prepare to come back and talk about that, we want to start the show off on the right note, where, of course, it's always about a blessing, finding ourselves in the right posture, in the right position where we can receive those manifested blessings of the Most High into our lives, so that we can cause the kingdom of the Most High to be expanded, so that we can cause more lives to be touched, more people to be reached, more people to be healed and, bound up and, delivered and set free and set into their purpose. Yeah, that's what the blessings are supposed to show forth, the handiworks of the Most High, that yes, it works. This is a testimony, but it's also going to draw people to us as we roll out the inner workings of the kingdom and affect more lives. It's just a basic investment. So let's get you blessed for this blessing. We're going to get you blessed for the blessing. We're going to get you fixed for the fixing. How about that? So we go 7 generations back. And of course, we reverse the curse. Anything that's outside of the alignment and the will of the Most High for your life as an individual, we're speaking against those things, and we're speaking life to the very root and the core of your being. We're speaking to your DNA. We're speaking to your genealogy. We're speaking to your bloodline. And we go 7 generations back, and we fix anything and everything that's outside of the alignment of the Most High. And we say that it is producing right now. It's blessed right now. So it's prepared and it's ready to produce and flourish and bear much fruit right now in your timeline as we speak it. And of course, we bless you 7 generations into the future. We bless your children's 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 children, children's children. And we say that your sons are going to be mighty men of valor, spiritual and physical valor, doing great exploits in the name of the Most High. And your daughters are going to be Proverbs 31 virtuous women, enterprising women, entrepreneurial women, kingdom building women, community building women, family building women. Oh my goodness, teaching women, nurturing women. You know how we do it. We just talking about those great women, because without great women, I don't care how great the man is, he ain't going but so far, baby. Ooh, we coming right back. And we're going to talk about these fig leaves, I'm telling you. It's the 100 Degree Show.
You are watching 100 Degree TV on YouTube. Consider liking, sharing, and subscribing if you find any value in our content. Now back to the show.
All right, we're back and we're talking about it. Again, we left off on the last episode, and we preface the leaves falling from a tree as the very thing that can kill the seeds. It can stop the seeds from germinating. It can stop the seeds from actually growing into full maturity. And thus we liken the seed unto the beginning of the blessing, or the planting of the blessing, and the harvesting or the reaping of the blessing would be full matured blades of grass for your lawn, right? So from this simple place of that situation, we're going to apply that to all of the other areas of life. So we're going to look at that in the same manner that we look at regular fruits, the way we look at our lives, in terms of our morality and our sanctity and all of the various aspects of life. So we want to go back to the Garden of Eden, in the first place where we saw Adam, Mr. and Mrs. Adam, because don't forget, Eve, became Eve after the fall. So the name Eve was the name that was given after the two were no longer one. And then we find that the man had a different mandate or a different mission towards the woman, the other half of him. And now he had to work by the sweat of his brow to provide for her. And she had to be subservient to him. And, this was the curse that they entered into. Right? We spoke about this before, and we're going to talk about it again. So a lot of the constructs that we find ourselves in today, in today's society, about the role of men and women and men having to provide. No, God has to provide. Jesus save us all, because God was provided, because he said to them, be fruitful and multiply. And because they kept the word of the Most High, they didn't need anybody to provide for anybody, because everything was there. But anyway, let's get serious about this thing. So in this fallen world, where we find ourselves being governed by economic systems and world systems that are not necessarily in alignment with the design, I guess you could say, purpose of the Most High for his people, for humanity, we find that we have entered into so many different levels of bondage, so many different curses, and it has become the norm because we don't know anything else. So we asked ourselves, well, what was the original intent? And if the original intent was what they were doing before the fall, then technically speaking, if we have been redeemed, as the word said, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. So if we have been redeemed and we are husbands and we are wives, no man is working by the sweat of his brow to provide for his woman, because that's the very thing that men have been redeemed from. And women are no longer being subservient and having these inordinate affections for their male counterparts, because that's what they have been redeemed from. So we are finding that we have to get ourselves back to our rightful place of being before the fall of man, before the woman became Eve. And she was just in a roundabout fashion. We would say she was Mrs. Adam and he was Mr. Adam, because they were one. Right? Okay, so when we find that they were intimate with the serpent, and I'm going to say intimate because that's what they were with God in the cool of the day. They said that God would come in the cool of the day and he would have communion. He would be intimate with Adam, and they would do the dialogue and the exchange and the building of relationship. This is way before the law of Moses. Let's get it right. Don't forget, the law of Moses was an attempt to correct what they messed up in the garden. It's still not working. The only thing that fixed that was Christ. So let's get back to this thing. So God would come to them in the cool of the day, and he would lay out the law, the real law, the relationship law of how the universe works and how they function and what they're supposed to do and how they do it, and the deeper mysteries of the kingdom and all of these great things, all of the science of life, and all of the great things. We can go into deep mysteries just based on what happened in the garden, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about the leaves. So as we look at this, and God comes to them after they were intimate with the serpent and they lost their light, because they were light beings. They resonated so high. They were multi-dimensional beings, and the frequencies that they resonated on, it attracted God every day to be present with them in the cool of the day, because they were perfectly matched and perfectly in alignment with the Most High. We're going to talk about this one today. But they were beguiled. They were beguiled. And they found the occasion to hearken, lean their heart unto counsel or other wisdom other than the wisdom that they receive via relationship with the Most High. They entered into another relationship. They committed adultery, spiritual adultery. And the price for this spiritual adultery was they lost their light nature. The serpent took their energy from them. The serpent took their light from them. He was always going around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, because he didn't have the light. But God came to them in the cool of the day, and he deposited more light. Oh my God. And they became brighter and brighter and stronger and more like the Most High day after day after day. And the serpent stole it from them. So now God shows up after they committed this adultery. And Adam is not in his right posture. He's not in his right being. He's not in his right frame of mind because he's confused. He's in a state that he's never been in before. He has fallen from grace and he's a madman. Or said they're madmen, madman and mad woman, right? Because now they're intoxicated off of this poison that they just fornicated and had adultery with, i.e. the serpent, and they're trying to make it up now as they go along. Well, what are we going to do? Oh, let's get some fig leaves or let's cover ourselves. Wait. You were just light beings a short moment ago. You had no need for covering. You were like an infant, or I should say a toddler, just running around the house naked. You know, all your privates are showing, no underwear, no nothing. And you're just free and happy, laughing with everybody, touching everything and whatever the case may be, because you're innocent. You don't even know you're naked. You don't understand that there are, things outside of your reality because you're pure. So they lost this purity. They lost the light. They're fallen and they're no longer in their position. They're no longer on the frequency of the Most High anymore. So it wasn't like he just came looking for them. He checked in and they weren't there. They didn't have their phone wasn't charged. Look, we're going to put it out there like that. Their phone got used up by the serpent. They lost all of their battery power. The light was gone. And now God is like, yo, Adam, where you at? Yo, son, I'm calling you. He got 5% juice. And he's like, yeah, I was naked. He so happened to muster up 5% of battery life to take a call from the Most High. He's like, yeah, man, I was naked. He's like, but what are you talking about? Who told you were naked? Your battery is always full. Oh, God. So basically, the fig leaves are like, you go to a store and it says, closed for lunch or closed today or whatever. That's what the fig leaves are saying. I can't be intimate right now. we kind of an emergency. We got a water main situation here and we can't cook no food because, yeah, God, I'm naked, man. I ain't got no juice in this battery right now to be intimate with you. The devil just blew my back out. Yeah, that's what the devil out here doing with y'all, blowing y'all back outs. Yeah, I think y'all got a problem. Just not intimate with the right source. But we know. But we're not going to get too raw about it. We not. So Adam's closed for business. Straight up closed for business. That fig leaf was like, ain't nothing productive happening here. Ain't no seeds growing here. Matter of fact, I'm covering my seeds up. Oh my God. God is like, who told you you were naked? Who told you this? But here's the funny thing. As we wrap this one up, right? As we wrap this one up, we're going to preface the second part of the show with this, because this could have been handled. This could have been handled with simple confession. This could have been handled with, not placing the blame on anybody, not saying it was because of this one, and now God is having to take these linear approaches to sentence them, to judge them and sentence them for these, adulterous acts that they just pulled off. Right? But what would it have been like if Adam had simply been a man about this thing? Or I should say, just be childlike about this thing. Yeah, Pops, I messed up. I did exactly what you told me not to do. But you see, the funny thing about sin is sin removes us from our ability to reason on a godly level. So whatever would be the wisdom that would be deployed and the rightful actions, we don't even have those abilities because we sever ourselves from the source. So technically, there was nothing that he could have done even along the lines of, as they would say, manning up and just dealing with this for what it was, because he was already cut off. He was now living in a new reality, and him and Mrs. Adam falling in, both of them, they're like, but it never felt like this. What is this new reality we're in? And they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to put it together. They're like, but why is it like this? Why aren't the colors bright anymore? Why do the birds sound like they're agitated? They used to make beautiful noise. What's going on, husband? You went messing around with the serpent. The fruits don't taste the same anymore. The water tastes like it has radiation in it. What's going on? Why is the sun burning us like this? Why is the lion looking at me like he wants to eat me all of a sudden? He used to be my friend. Cut off. Because of spiritual adultery. We're going to put a pin in that right there. And we're going to come on back. We're going to talk about this from our perspective, because so many of us, me included, that's why I can talk about it so candid, because I'm not over here pulling punches. Jack moves going on over here. We're going to talk about this the way it really is. And I said earlier in the week, I'm quick to ask for forgiveness. I'm quick. I don't want to have that thing severed and I'm out of alignment any longer than I need to be, regardless. That's my secret weapon, forgiveness. For me first, and then for you second. I got to ask for forgiveness quick. I don't have the time to wait for God to come back around and ask me like, yo, where you at, son? I don't have that luxury. As soon as I feel something's off, God forgive me. I don't even know what I did, but forgive me. Show me, Spirit. What did I do? Whether I know it or not. Y'all think I'm out here playing games with y'all. Yeah, I'm trying to help you. Help you on some real math, baby. Do some real math with this thing. Stop out here acting like you ain't did nothing wrong. You ain't thought nothing wrong. You ain't said nothing wrong. Who you think you are? What do you think this is? This is the humility at work. Yes, me. It's me, Lord. Yes. I'm raising my hands on that one. We're going to come on back. We're going to talk about it. Don't go to It's the 100 Degree Show.
You are watching 100 Degree TV on YouTube. Consider liking, sharing, and subscribing if you find any value in our content. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. It's the 100 Degree Show. I'm Burch Harris, a.k.a. Judah Bed, Judah Baby. DJ Judah Ben Judah, I tell you. And we have returned to burn, whether you're on the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, Canada, Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, Europe, Asia, or Africa. We are blessing you. Blessing you. Have to bless you. You have to be blessed. I have to be blessed so that we can walk in the fullness of who we are and what we've been created to be. We don't have time to be walking in curses and living in curses and dysfunctional. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with me, man? Come on, let's get back to this thing. So, you know what we're talking about. And we're looking at this thing as Adam didn't even have the ability. Maybe he did. Because it's a funny thing when you have no reference of what sin is. You are confused. You see, we have a reference of what sin is. We have a reference, many references, many experiences of the sting of sin when it hits us. We know what it feels like to be disconnected from the Most High. We know what it feels like to be in the presence of the Most High. We know what it is to be wrapped up and tied up, oh my God, in the very presence of the Most High. We know what that feels like. We know what that experience is. And we also know what it's not. So if we're really tapped into the Spirit, we're really plugged in, we're really connected, anything that interrupts the signal, anything that interrupts the service, our first recourse is to be, Lord, forgive me first. I don't know what it is, but forgive me, because I don't deserve this. I'm just saying, I don't deserve to not be in your presence, Lord. So forgive me. Whatever it is, we can talk about it. We can get it right. But let me just let you know, forgive me. And let's deal with this now. So what's really going on here? You cannot sever the connection. You cannot allow the connection to be so severed that you don't even have a chance to get the right answers that you need. That you don't have the right for the Holy Spirit to be interceding on your behalf. You can't cut that because of sin and be callous like, yeah, me and God, we cool. Cool where? How? You don't have a connection. There's no call. There's no service. Your battery is dead. And you're dying. I'm dying because we're not connected and we're running around acting like it's cookies and cream. It's tea and crumpets all day. No, it ain't. Forgiveness, Lord, forgive me. Show me where I went wrong. Help me get this thing right. Y'all think this is some type of game we playing? If we can't get that basic exercise down pat every day, not just on Sundays, every day, sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day. Lord, forgive me. Forgive me for that thought. Forgive me for what I just said. I could have said that better. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that, Lord. Lord, you know. So some of us, we're so sanctimonious. They say, well, that's you. You haven't grown up yet. But the Apostle Paul, I'll use a big giant for you. I'll use a giant for you. He said the things that I want to do, I don't do. And the things that I don't want to do, I do. This is what the Apostle Paul is saying. And I'm not even going to get into which part of his ministry that was in. The fact that he was light years ahead of just about all of us on this planet right now. But he went through that. Where he could confess in his epistles that he struggled with doing things and being in a particular way that in his heart, he knew it wasn't what he wanted to do. He says, I got two different wars I'm fighting. I'm fighting a war of the flesh, and I'm fighting this war of the spirit. I want to do this thing God's way, but my flesh has been programmed to do this thing one way. And I've got this dichotomy working inside of me. But what made him kept coming back? What made him kept coming back? Because he knew forgiveness. He experienced forgiveness on a very large scale. Being struck from a horse after you were murdering God's people and blinded, and then having to be humbled to be looked at as a terrorist by the same people that now you've got to be a part of, and they've got to help you, and you got to go get healed, and you don't understand this. I think you do, but sometimes, we negate to understand how much we really understand how this thing really works, and we want to play religious games or something. I don't know. But Lord, forgive me. Forgive me, because I know I got some things that I do that I don't want to do. And there's some things that I don't want to do, I do. But even the same apostle, Paul himself, I'm just going to use Paul, prayed to the Lord on many occasions. Lord, take this from me. Whatever that thing that he wanted God to take from God didn't take it from him. That was the thing that God used to humble him. Maybe it might have made him look a little bit better. Maybe it might have made him look more serious and more astute among the other apostles. I don't know what Paul's issue was, but I got issues too, and so do you. And if he prayed to God and God didn't remove it, and he said, my grace is sufficient, I'm not sweating my stuff, and I don't think you should either. If God didn't move it from you, if he didn't take it from you, apparently it's all working together for good. And I guess we can go on and we can say, for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, let's not sweat the small stuff, and let's focus on the kingdom stuff, because that's what the Apostle Paul was faced with. I can't get lost in the fact that I'm still messing up and I'm doing things I don't want to do, or I'm not doing things that I'm supposed to be doing. And, I've got some visible things that people can see, and Lord, please take it away from me, Lord. And he's like, nah, I ain't taking that from you. My grace is sufficient, and you're going to have to endure that. So here's the takeaway, sports fans. Here's the takeaway. I don't care what's wrong with you. I don't care what's not wrong with you. I don't care who you are or who you're not. None of that really comes across my desk as important. What's really paramount here is getting in alignment and agreement with the Most High and carrying that out. That's where you work out your soul salvation with fear and trembling, doing your purpose. That's where you work it out. Because now it becomes a situation where you become so engulfed in the purpose and the call that God has on your life that you ain't got no time to put no energy into the little things. The little things don't matter no more. What you're doing and what you're not doing, what you're supposed to be doing and what you're not supposed to be doing, that doesn't even matter anymore. The things that you're praying to God, oh God, take that away so that I can look like I'm a better Christian. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Just get busy about your purpose. All of that would just fade away in the background. And if you're not swayed by people's opinions of you and what people say and what the Pharisees keep saying, well, you can't be a man of God. You can't be a woman of God if you do that. Man, get out of here with that nonsense. What Bible you reading? Not the Bible I'm reading. I'm sorry. Keep law abiding, but I'm going to keep Christ abiding. And I hope that I see you on the other side of glory. We'll see about that one. But I really do love you. And you have to win. Because I have to win. Because God is always winning. He's never losing. If it's all working together for good, can I motivate you for just a moment before I go? Can I do that? Can I motivate you to stay on course? Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Run your race. Be a good soldier. Be of good cheer. Be of good courage. Just be good about being good unto you because God loves you and he's being good to you too. I got to go. But I always love you.
Thank you for watching 100 Degree TV on YouTube. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel if you find our content valuable, and be sure to join us for the next presentation.